Tomorrow night, it will get buck wild up in here.
What's up, baby? Burt Watson here, and it's that time again, baby, for Legends. This Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern on Instagram Live. It's me and Glover Teixeira, baby. Glover just keeps making it happen. Thursday night, 7 p.m. Instagram Live. Glover Teixeira and me, baby. Boom. What's up, baby? How's everybody tonight? Thanks for joining in, and I appreciate you guys checking in. Appreciate everybody checking in, and welcome to Legends, platform in a format where I'm going to sit and legitimately have a conversation with guys who are legends, past and present, and just kind of give them a platform to just have open conversation. You know, what's up, Big Allen out there in Brazil? I know you understand me, man. But what's going on, baby? Hope everybody's good and safe from everything that's going on right now. Wish everybody Godspeed and safety, and stay inside and stay safe, baby. You know, I know it's tough right now, but you got to do what you got to do. There's one way to win a fight, baby, and you got to be able to fight that fight. Just hoping everybody's safe. Last couple of shows I've had a conversation with Vito Belfort, which was outstanding. George St. Pierre, and then I went on from that point. I kind of figured to reach out to one of my guys who's been around a long time, who is a living legend in this sport, and somebody I expect and admire. And guess what? Boom, there he is. My man Glover.
What's up, Burt?
Man, I'm trying to
How's
make it, baby.
everything,
How
my
about
friend?
yourself? Man, everything is good. Everything is
Doing
much
great,
better
my
now
friend,
that I've
doing
got
great.
you on the line. You know, the last time I did this, man, I had a little technical difficulties, man, because I'm technically challenged when it comes to social media, but, you know, it was challenging. But, you know, I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to give it another shot. And I figured I'd reach out to you, I want to thank you from Legends to Legends. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your support.
Hey, man, thank you. I'm glad to be here. You know, you one of the pioneer in the sport of boxing. You know, and everything that you've done, man. You know, like I'm a big fan from the beginning. And Chuck and seeing everybody fighting, man. See you all around, and you know, I've been fans guys then, and when I was in UFC and you start yelling, "We rolling, let's go 3 minutes, your fight, your night," and that was
Get it right, baby.
You know, that's one of my highlights of my my career in UFC, because I dreamed so much to be there, you know, because I see you saying before I was there, and I say, you know, man, when this guy come over here, this guy's gonna come over here, you know, Burt is gonna come, start yelling, I get ready and visualize, and things happen, my friend.
Yes. Well, you know, we've known each other for about 13 years, and we've had many conversations, but most of them have been event related. And we never really had an opportunity to sit and chat with each other, just sit and have a conversation. So, you know, I'll be asking you questions, and you can ask me questions, any questions. Okay? We just sit and we'll just kind of chat and have a basic conversation. First of all, baby, I wanna thank you. I want to thank you for the ride, and thank you for the amazing career. 18 years, baby.
Hey, man.
18 years from 2002 to 2020 at the highest level, Glover. You know, I mean, you fought in WEC, you fought in IFC, PC, shoot. You became the lightweight champion in shoot, and at one point between 2006 and 2013, baby, you won 20 fights in a row. I don't know if you know you won 20 fights in a row.
Yeah, I knew that coming in, to fight for the title, they talking about it. I told Pedro, Pedro say, hey, man, your paper's about to get it done, to get the green card, and you're going to fight in UFC, so you think you should be risking with those fights over here, the small cards and stuff like that. I say, man, I'm just going to keep fighting and beating everyone. If I can't beat those guys, in smaller shows, what I'm going to do in the bigger show, So I just want to test myself every time.
But you
cutting out a little bit, Burt.
Okay, let's see how's
I
that.
can hear you very
better?
good. I can hear you good. Yeah, I can hear you good. I cannot see you well. Maybe it's
okay. Well, you're not missing much by not seeing my face.
Okay. Now you are man. Burt.
What, Glover? If you can hear me, once a little bit about. Tell us a little bit about how you got started, where you're from, where you got started, why you got started. Give us a little background on 411, baby, on you and your career. Tell us about that.
Well, I'm from Sobralia, Brazil. A small town in Brazil, a country. I would grow up in a farm. Grow up doing farm work with my dad, and I had a dream to come to the United States because, a lot of people from that town was coming here at the time. And I had a dream to come over here, make some money, go back and live my life there. But, I ended up come over here and fell in love with the fighting stuff. I watched Royce Grace tape on the Blockbuster tape, UFC 1 and 2 and 3. And that day I went straight to the gym, to the boxing gym and jiu-jitsu gym, and I never left into this day. I never stopped training. Of course, I left the gym, but the gym's not even there anymore. But I never stopped training into this day. I went that day with a mission, and I say to myself, I'm going to be in UFC, and of course, people thought I was crazy because I was 22 years old and, working landscaping and thinking to working 10, 12 hours a day and go back in training. But I didn't think it was a crazy idea. I just keep going, and I'm here, my friend. I'm here to talk with Burt, the legend of UFC. I got a lot of questions for you too, my friend.
Well, shoot them at me. And I know that you came over and you moved to Danbury, Connecticut. You did landscaping for a while, 10 to 12 years of it, met your lovely wife, Ingrid. And you settled down, and that's kind of basically how you got started. But your fighting style is hit and be hit. You got great boxing skills, and coming from a boxing background, I recognize boxing skills. You're a striker, and you're very comfortable at ground and pound. Tell us a little bit about your style and your striking movement and some of your favorite moves.
I start, like I say, when I went to the gym to start martial arts, I already visualized UFC. So I already trained I didn't want to go boxing or go, like a lot of guys have background in wrestling and jiu-jitsu and become UFC later, MMA fighter later. I went with that mentality going in the gym, say I want to be UFC. So I was training everything at the same time. I was doing it, and then I went to Chucky school, to John Hackman school, and I learned all the wrestling there. But yeah, my style is I say MMA. I don't have a strong background like say a multiple tempo champion and
Right.
and jiu-jitsu or this or that. But I used to talk with Chuck a long time ago when I started training with Chuck in 2005, and he told me one thing. I think Tito at the time was talking a lot of smack and everything, and I told Chuck, "Hey Chuck, you don't talk a lot of shit, man." And Tito talk a lot of shit, and you don't think that's sell the fights and just asking question, And he say, "You want to make money, my friend? You go out there and finish fights,
Finish.
and knock people out or submit them, or just beat the heck out of them, take them out of there, and that's how you sell fights." And of course, later on today and nowadays, it's not quite there. You have to
Right. Right.
do way much, with the social media and
Yeah.
everything.
It's more technical. You got to do a lot more.
You gotta do it all. You gotta do. Like I say, I don't do it. I don't complain. I'm not here going, "Oh, I should have done it," because I'm happy with the situation that I'm living right now. I'm just glad I'm going over there, respecting everyone, and and if you have to punch somebody, knock somebody out, you have to do it. It's part of the job.
Well, you know what? If you go in and you consistently do what you've been doing now for 18 years, and that's win fights, baby. You don't have to convince somebody that you need to talk smack,
Yeah.
to win and get a fight done. How's your hand?
Yeah, my hand is great. I thought I broke the hand. I already have an X-ray. We still have a problem the finger here, but we're gonna do an MRI and gonna take care of this. Hey, but just I want to say hi to my Brazilian friends over here. A lot of Brazilian
Please
friends. I just
do.
want to say hi. Ok, galera? Esse aí, ó, é o Burt, é a lenda do UFC, é o cara que, poxa, que motivava a galera e ajudou aí com essa fera aí hoje aí. Mas um grande abraço a vocês. What I say, Burt, is like, when we say you're the legend, man, it's crazy because it really in the mouth of the fighters, you know what I mean? It's like when if people start asking me, man, you remember like William Patolino and
he just can't. William Patolino just shot up. I just saw his name.
Oh, Patolino! Okay, I'll just talk about him. But because I got UFC before him, right?
Right.
But then he asking me, like, "Hey Glover, how's that negão in UFC, man? That guy that talk about you, And he's like, how's that guy in UFC, Butch, man? He come down and he yells at everybody, he motivates everybody." And I was telling like how much you motivate us, and man, your voice and the backstage, man, it's something else, man. I mean, that's the only thing that that I of course I know much more things. You used to box, and I'm gonna ask about that later.
Right.
Manage Joe Frazier and promote some fights, but as I know you more was over there on on the backstage, and man, the way you just calm down. Of course, we see you the whole week, and you in that week, that vibe is amazing. When you pick us up in the airport till we get to the hotel, and you always have that positive vibe. Ask us if you need anything. Tell us everything that you have to be done many times. But the way you say is never like too annoying or anything. Just take care of um, and it's like it's amazing, man. And when you come to that day of the fight, we start hearing you. We start hearing you
Yeah.
because you go to the locker rooms and you go to
Right.
and people, all the fighters, and every fight that I've been with you on it, and people's ask, how old is this guy? How he can keep going? And that's fine,
Well,
man, because
that's because I felt it here. I
you
felt it
go
here
for
and here.
if it's 12 fights on a card, you go 24 times to the locker rooms because you get 24 fighters back in the octagon.
You know what? Let me tell you something. That I have a record, and I have a personal record that I've never told anybody, and I keep to myself. But I'm going to tell you now, since we're talking. Since about 1985, my record is 356-0. If you average 9 fights per fight, I've done 356 fights. That means I've walked 6,408 fighters to the ring or to the cage.
Heck yeah, man.
And that's
Wow.
that's a record that I've kept to the day. 356 fights and 6,408 fighters that I've walked to the cage. But I've always been for the fighters. From the time they arrive to the time they leave. I handle you guys' rooms, your workout assignment, knowing who's who, knowing who doesn't like who, because I know personally, and you know that I know, you got to know who. Most fighters, they work with each other. You guys share corners, you share camps, you share gyms, but not everybody likes everything particularly. Some guys don't like the way some guys smell. Some guys don't like the way some guys work out. They don't like the way some guys train, the training energy that they leave. And I gotta listen to this, because I gotta know that when it comes to fight time and fight week, to putting you guys in a dressing room and putting you guys together. I don't want you to go in the dressing room and see somebody in there that you don't like or you don't want to be with.
Yeah.
But during the course of the week, I listen. I always say to you guys, if it's up here, I want it right here. If it's in here, I want it here. The only stupid question is the one you don't ask, baby. So I always ask those questions. So I wanted to keep guys in, and doing that kind of helped my energy level, and it helped me. I get to know your rituals and all those things.
Oh my God! Your energy is a crazy, man. It's like amazing. I know it's the love, but I mean it's every weekend, and you there, man. Like,
wow,
we're rolling, let's go. And then you come to my locker room, or everybody. But I remember just saying, Glover, how you feel, baby? 5 minutes, I'll come. You start saying like 30 minutes. How you feel, baby? Let's get this done. And then you start saying, and the speech after the weigh-ins too, like, get in there, don't leave in the hand of the judges. And the speech is always like beautiful, man. It's like we listen to you, and I see all the little fun. And also, though, the reason why I think is because, I mean, you see you doing all this stuff, and we kind of want to know, like, who is this guy that have, because you're so confident when you talk to the guys, and so the positive, the energy, everything. So you kind of like want to be like, who is this guy there? What he does, man. How, and then you research because I did it in the beginning, man. And like, of course, I found out like this is in the beginning. This is when I met you through Chuck, Chuck Liddell fight, and then I realized like you manage Joe Frazier, man, one of my favorite fighters.
Yes.
just and then you promote some fights. You manage Joe Frazier. So it's one of the fighters you manage, right?
Right. Well, I started basically with Joe Frazier, and I managed Joe, but my management of Joe was later on, during near the end of his career, and everything he did after, just to, as a legend, going along. But during the course of that time, man, I got to meet Muhammad Ali. I worked with George Foreman, Larry Holmes, Ken Norton, and Joe. And when I first started with Joe actually had 6 family members who were fighting and who were fighters. It was Marvis. It was his son, Joe Jr. He had his nephew, Tyrone. He had his nephew, Mark. He had his cousin, Anthony. And then Chandler Durham, who was his #1 trainer. Joe had his son, Yank Durham, and the son's name was Chandler. So there was 6 of them in the gym when Joe brought me from New York to Philadelphia. And when I got into the gym, and the guys were not being busy. So I said to Joe, Joe, these guys they were asking me, when am I going to fight, coach? When am I going to fight, coach? And I didn't really have an answer for them. So I went to Joe and I said, Joe, these guys are asking me to fight. Well, I was in Philadelphia, the boxing capital of the world, or at least one of them, with Smoking Joe Frazier, and we had the legendary Blue Horizon. So I said to Joe, why don't we just do a fight? And that point we went on, we set up the Blue Horizon, and we started doing fights to keep his guys busy. The best one out of that group, or the one that made it out of that group, started was with Marvis Frazier. Because of course we all know, Marvis was a legitimate fighter. Before Marvis got to fight Mike Tyson and Larry Holmes, which, you went from fights.
Is Joe's son Marvis?
Yes.
Joe's son,
That was Joe's oldest son.
Yeah, I saw that fight.
And he was the one that fought Tyson. But by the time he got to that point, he was legitimately 19-0. I think he had like 12 or 13 knockouts. Don't quote me on that number. But I know he was undefeated. So there was no fluke, and everybody thought, because he was Joe Frazier's son, that Joe was pushing him. But Joe wasn't pushing him. Hey, man, these guys grew up in the gym, and they grew up boxing. So, quite naturally, that was going to be what they decided to do. And you know what? When they were all good until they got hit. If they got past getting hit once, they all became fighters. And they all did. Even his nephew, Rodney, which was the son of Tom Frazier, which was Joe's brother. So he had 7 Fraziers fighting at one time. And Marvis Frazier, who fought Tyson and Larry Holmes. And then you had Tyrone Frazier, who actually became one of the best super middleweights in the world. Because he fought Virgil Hill, guys like that. And then you had Joe Jr., who was probably the best out of all of them. And he even looked like Joe. Looked like Joe took his face and said, boom,
wow,
be a person, But Joe Jr. got caught up in the street. So that was the downfall. When you get caught up in the street, you're a downfall. That kid was 19-1 and legitimate, but he got caught up in the street. And when he got caught up in the street, it was a bit of his downfall. But we started promoting fights, and because he was Smoking Joe Frazier, everybody gave us a break. CBS gave us a break. Showtime gave us a break. Don King came in. Butch Lewis came in. Lou Duva came in. And these guys were promoting fights and wanted to use the fighters. So quite naturally, Joe, at the time, he wasn't giving up that money. Okay.
Yeah.
He wanted to keep all that money in the gym. So you know what? He said, we're going to promote the fights and you're going to do it. And that was the start of me as a coordinator. I had to do everything because I won't say I'm a control freak, but I like to keep things close to my pockets. I like to know what
You
my
like to
left
know.
is doing and what my right is doing. And if I tell my left not to do it, my right's going to know not to do it.
Yeah.
And that has to be in sync. So I had no problem taking all of it. But I'll tell you something. The one thing that kind of enhanced me and kept me motivated, we took a guy out to California to do a fight. And it was on a promotion. And out of respect, I won't name the promotion, but we took a guy out there, and there was a kid on that card. Back in that day, guys were getting between $50 to $100 a round, and that was a lot of money. And they were fighting.
Okay.
They were fighting 4-round fights. So this kid, they gave him a 4-round fight, and they gave him $400, which was good money. So they gave him $100 a round. But then at the end of the night, when this poor kid went to get his money, they had taken out the money that they had paid for the medicals. Oh. So this kid ended up with $75, which broke my heart. And this kid came to me and he was like, Mr. Watson, I got $75. I can't even get home. So I made it a point from that point, Glover, that I was never, ever going to let a fighter be taken advantage of, get disrespected, or felt he was mistreated. Yeah. From that point on, everything I did was for fighters. Yeah. And fighters only.
And it's easy to know there, Burt. You know, like we all, some people have a better sense than others. But we all, in some way, we able to see the vibration of the person. You know, if the person is like a kind of bad guy, you feel that vibration. This guy's a jealous bitch. You know, this guy is this guy is that. But I think that's the reason why people, because you're so real. You know, you're not like you over there. You say what it is exactly. When you say, hey, my left hand like to know what my right hand is doing, and I'm not in control, but I like to know everything, and you do. You do, because I remember even things in a locker room, and then I got called from somebody. I think it was one of the time that I didn't have, I asked for water or something, or towels in my locker room, and then I got called from this person, and then I got called from you. You could just come and say, "Is a towel? Is enough towel in the room?" It's like I got called from 3 or 4 different people, and me at that time I didn't make up. I was just saying like, "Hey guys, if you, I think I talked with one of the securities, and I say, hey, if it tomorrow when I'm cutting weight, if it's more towels in my room, would be nice, you know. And can you ask the guys there? Like I didn't even know you." Because I thought you work, you know, with a big deal, working something else over there.
You thought I was handing out the paychecks.
I know. I didn't think you were over there worrying about. Then I got called for the hey gloves. Then after, oh no, we make sure to send to you. And then you call me, and I was like, hey. I was not making a big deal about this. And it's funny because you start the whole process that UFC have it today, right? With with the ride, with this, with all with the way they take care of the fighters, and it's amazing. I told that today. I did an interview today. I say they take care of the fighters from the time they get to the airport, man, to they go back home. Amazing. And you start there, and they keep going. There's a guy over there that is doing a very good job. I keep, you know, I'm forgetting his name. My wife know. But we call him a White Burt, you know, and very nice guy.
Probably Dean.
Yeah,
probably Dean.
The guy they say, and you know, of course, you have the style, you know, you're the original, you have the style. But he's an amazing guy. He's doing an amazing job, and we know you did it for all that, man.
They really had no format, no blueprint when I initially went there. the one thing Dana did, which I always respected him for, was that he never ever tried to tell me how to do my job. He always gave me the job and got out of the way. And when I went in with a blueprint in the format that I had from boxing, which was totally for the fighters. And I say that because I mean that sincerely. And at the same time, I knew that you guys, if I showed you guys that I had total respect for you and took care of you, you were going to give me the same respect. And I say to the guys all the time, listen, I can F with you, but I'm not going to let anybody else F with you, baby. I can do it, but nobody else. And I literally meant that. But I knew that how hard it was for you guys. During the course of the week, I got 4 people. I got the one guy that showed up that was happy to be in the UFC and proud to have gotten there to do a fight for the first time. I got a different person during the course of the week when he was trying to cut weight and he was mad because he wasn't on point through the weight that he needed to be. Because his big ass shouldn't have come in overweight like that in the first place. Some guys come there needing to lose 15 pounds or so. Then I got the guy that was worried to death weigh-in day that he wasn't going to make weight, even though he was fine and good, maybe had sweated and worked his body out. I got that guy. And the last guy I got during the course of the week was the guy that showed up the night of the fight. And that was a whole different person. That guy that showed up that night, when you guys showed up for locker room and fight night, I knew then I had a different person. And I knew then that was a person that I had to just lay the tracks and show you that track led to the cage and not be on it when it was your time to go. And not let anybody else get in the way. You know, make sure that the rooms were warm. Make sure that there was bottled water there, that there was enough ice there, that there was towels there, that there was nobody running in and out of the room that shouldn't be in there. Because when you guys get to working out and get to training, you don't necessarily know. Sometimes I get to know. I didn't know it all the time, but sometimes I got to know when guys were going to fight each other at some point. So you know what? I made sure that those guys were not in the same room with each other. Now, nobody knew that I had already put that in my head, but I put that in my head, and I kind of made sure that was the way it was. But then when you guys saw that, you guys respected it. And not only that, but I have only had one guy ever in my entire career. And as I told you before, 6,408 times I walked to the cage and the boxing ring. I've had one guy get this close to my face. One.
And wow, and that's what I was gonna ask you. That's my head, the question, because it's so many, like you say, so many personalities. The way you deal with things is like, man, I'm a big fan. I learned so much from you. You don't even know. Doing my gym as a leader, you know, because you have that leadership mentality, how to deal with people, like you say, bipolar, because some people are not because they are bipolar, but they become, some people become like that when they cutting weight the day of the fight and after the fight, right? After the fight, you're like, whoa, this guy's after the fight, he's a happy guy. He actually laughed. You know, and some guys are before the fight, he's like, whatever. So you have to deal with all the personality. And I was going to ask you there, is in there a whole situation, how many guys actually, because I never saw anybody disrespect you. That's some other thing. You make us feel like really a star, because you over there with your crew, because you had a big crew under you.
I had 6 guys.
6 guys under you, and say, Glover, you need this, you need that. Amazing, you know, like, oh, I want to go to the grocery store right away. Be a car, you know, amazing, everything. So it make us feel like big, but nobody mess around with Burt, because you tell whatever you have to say. You know what I mean? And I see my whole life, a lot of respect from everybody. But my question is, I was not in a 6,000 fights of you. Is anybody? And now you just say only one guy.
Only one guy in my entire, and this guy went in to check the scales, and he was new, and I came in the room, and he's
new, like the fighter. He was new, and
he was brand new fighter, first time in, came from somewhere else. And you know how I was protective of my room. Don't get on my scale with your shoes on and your clothes.
Yeah.
When you fighters came in, I personally took everybody to the room to check your weight.
Yeah.
First thing I did, because I know that's the first thing on your head. Where's the scale? You guys are looking for the scale. But you know what? I wasn't going to make you do that. When you came in, I met you with my hands out and took you to the scale.
Yeah.
So I went in the room and I took this guy in. The guy went in on the scale, and he got on there with his shoes on and his clothes. And I said to him, I said, "What you doing, bro?" He said, "I'm checking my weight." I said, "You check your weight with your clothes on?" I said, "Please." And I had a sign, I put the sign over the scale, "Do not sit on
I remember the
sign or mess with the scale." But the sign said, "Do not F with this scale." Because I knew that was the language most of the guys would understand if I wasn't around. So they understood that. So, I left. And then when I left, about 5 minutes later, the guy called me and he said, "Hey, man, the scale is off." First of all, I wasn't "Hey, man." My name is Burt Watson, but I didn't say that to him. I just got quiet and I said, "The scale's not off." He said the scale, but let me tell you something. I got those scales checked, whether you guys, twice a week. You guys showed up on Tuesday. I got those scales certified on Monday.
And they're good scales.
And then I got them certified the day before the weigh-in day in the morning. Every place we want, every time I had them. So I know them scales were right. So then he said, "Well, how in the hell am I supposed to check my weight if the scale's not right?" And I said to him, I said, whoa. First of all, you need to check that attitude, bro. I said, I don't believe that you just disrespected me verbally, and I have not come at you. And he said, "Where are you at?" And I hung up on him. And I knew he was in the workout room. And I went down to the workout room. And I walked into the workout room and I said, "Son, I'm going to tell you something." I said, "One thing I will never, ever do is disrespect you or disrespect your presence or disrespect the things that you need by not knowing what you need or disrespect the system by not knowing what's needed in the system." I said, "So you're going to have to go along with me and trust me." I said, "You want to know something?" I said, "You just got here." I said, "It's easier to get here than it is to stay here." I said, "And nobody in this organization is bigger than the UFC." I said, "As a matter of fact, nobody in here is bigger than me." Well, he didn't like that. And he did right here. And he said, "You know what? You need to get out of this room." And I just looked at him.
Wow.
And I stepped in front of him and I said, "Well, you need to put me out." And that's when his corner guys, now mind you, when I got in the guy's face, I could feel his muscles from where I was standing. So I already knew, I can tell you something. Over all the course of the years, I've never took any training in martial arts or anything like that, but I can go. Okay. So I was ready for that. But they got in front of us and they stopped it. And I walked away and I said to him, I said, "You know what?" I said, "This will never happen again." So when I left, and this is the first time I've ever told this story. When I left, I went to Joe Silver. And I said to him, I said, "Joe, I've never said this before and I'll never say this again, but I'll never work with that young man ever again." And he only had one fight in the UFC. They never brought him back.
Wow.
They never brought him back. But that was the only.
Yeah, but you never.
You guys have a.
He probably. Who knows, man?
You guys have a fraternity there that you let people in, but you let people in that respect you and respect what you do. But you, out of respect, like I said, the amazing career that you've had, for me, longevity counts for all of it.
Yeah.
Legendary is when you withstand the test of time and you stick around and you still can do it at the highest level without being questioned. And you won your last 4 in a row. And after the years that you've put into, you're still at a very high level. You're ranked number 5 in the world. And that, you don't become a legend running your mouth and not backing it up. I don't know any legends, and I've worked with Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali. I've worked with Sugar Ray Leonard, Tito Trinidad. I've worked with Roy Jones. I did Mike Tyson's last 6 fight. And anybody that came in the UFC from year 2000 to 2015, I've worked with.
You work with quite a few legends. Yeah.
The only boxing legend that I've never worked with was Lennox Lewis. Holyfield, wow. Roberto Duran, Hector Macho Camacho. I've done it all. Worked with, and I don't know anybody like this and didn't back it up. So when legendary status is when somebody has withstood the test of time and that sits like this, like you have, and have proven yourself without. And speaking of that, I want to just kind of not getting off too quick. Just recently, you were in that legendary fight week in Jacksonville, which was, I mean, you started with the UFC in 2012, and your first fight was there was some great fights that were set up, great fights that were canceled, and rescheduled. But you went through that week in Jacksonville, which was legendary. How strange was that for you? And you were the main event, and that was pretty legendary. How strange was that for you?
It's a strange time for the whole world is strange right now. But going in the arena and knowing there's nobody's gonna be in the arena, you work your mind for that. Joe Frazier, huh? I'm talking now. Burt. I'm just gonna focus on the fight. And me, I'm not a guy that go over there and play around. I'm focused. I'm going over there, take care of the fight, right? So I thought the crowd, I was afraid and worried about, it's going to be a weird fight with no crowd. How weird it's going to be. It's going to be weird. It is. But how it's going to affect me in a fight. And it didn't. Didn't affect me not in a fight. In fact, and the whole thing, this is we got through it, man. It was an amazing fight. It was an amazing week. UFC once again did amazing.
They did a good job, and I could see that a lot of the things that I actually kind of put in place are still there, still in place, still making sense, and people are still doing it. And during the course of the fight, you were talking to him, and I think at one point I heard, or were you talking to him during the course of the fight? There goes that little technical difficulty.
The corners, both corners. So we talk a little bit, but when he took his tooth, he was calling the ref and give the tooth to the ref, Then he said, "It is what it is," and we keep going.
Yeah. Well, that was a good fight for you. From the middle of the second round or so, he was in trouble. and you kind of carried it through the rest of the true, and you know, the rest of it was history. And that was a good fight. And I see that we're kind of running out of time a little bit, and we're getting a poor connection. But other than fighting, what has been the highlight of your life for you, other than fighting?
My wife is here pointing at her. You know, man, you know, it's so many great things.
Okay.
Man, that and my life is really is like no highlights of my life. I just like where I come from, and as a little kid dreaming and wanted to be, you know, like and see like that's impossible. That one day I can have a TV and say, hey man, one time this guy is gonna be yelling for my, you know, my fight. I hope I'll be there. About you, think about how, you know, like Joe Rogan's gonna interview me in my fight. You know, those things when we have that. Yeah, man. Well, it's just like the whole thing. I enjoy most of my life is that the they bring me is the around the world. Around fighting game, because they're amazing people. Amazing people. And you, I can't name it. It's a like I say, amazing people. And you know that working with a fighter 6 my time to question, right? Not my time to question, right?
Yes. You can ask whatever you want.
Mike Tyson, yeah. All these people, you know, Tyson and Vanderlei and, you know, Minotauro, become friends with those guys. Like having lunch, have coffee. Minotauro call me and say, hey, Glover, let's go get.
Wow.
When he wants me to get coffee with him. And the guy was next to.
Wow.
I say, I know, but freaking Minotauro, man.
Minotauro, yeah. And I know I was there. Little part. I want to thank Building Your Brands for that amazing of you from the beginning, and they did an amazing job with that video. That was Building Your Brand.
Oh, you know? Amazing, beautiful video. I'm gonna.
For you, there's.
You there.
I can see it. So, thank God for you, and thank you for your time. And you are still rolling, my friend. Love for you and Ingrid, and I appreciate you, man. Thank you so very much.
It's amazing, man.
And she is the best thing that's happened.
Right there.
Much love, baby.
Hello, say hello, Ingrid.
No. Hey, tomorrow night.